Hi, photography phonology class. It's Rachel. I wanted to take you through our first project together. And the point of this project is really to get you just practicing taking photos. For some of us, we're pretty experienced photographers, and for some of us, this is kind of our first time. So just dusting the cobwebs off of that and taking a photograph is kind of the goal of our project. So you can see the project is called The Three Big Mistakes. And basically what we'll be learning about is there are three key things that new photographers often do that make their photos not as strong. And we're going to learn about them and we're going to learn how to avoid them. Just to kind of call out, this class is about nature photography. It's Brian's side of things is the science of observation. So we're going to be taking photos of nature as a means of observation as kind of the connection between the two. These are all photos taken by Shabazz students during this class. And the goal is for you to be able to take really strong photos of nature by the end of the course. You can see, I think this is Brian right here in the corner. We used to take some very interesting trips as part of the class. The trips will very much be based on what you want to do and what you feel safe doing. But really, this is about exploring nature photography, the genre of nature photography, and teaching you how to be able to take really strong photos like you see here. So we should just address this quickly. People, nature photography. How do you not have a nature photograph become portraiture? Because they're totally different genres of photography. So the thing to think about is we're not going to completely avoid taking pictures of people as part of this genre, but this genre isn't about the cutest selfie you can get. It's really about documenting the world around us. And people play an important role in that. So on this one, you can see the person is kind of in this big canyon space. And it's really important that person is there because they show off the scale of the canyon. So when you're thinking about people and your photos, the people should enhance the nature, not distract. This one is one of my favorite photos. It's from a National Geographic magazine, and it's two boys watching their family's bull, kind of taking care of it. And so even though this photo has two people in it, it's very much about the people's relationship to nature. So again, when you're thinking about nature photography for this class, it's not avoid people altogether. The big thing you want to avoid is this picture up here. Although it's a nice photo, I would not say it's the genre of nature photography because you really can't see the nature behind her. For her, it's about looking cute in nature, but it's not showcasing the beauty of the world around her. This one is a little bit closer because she's obscured by nature, and then you can still see the landscape behind her. And the colors of the landscape kind of connect to the flowers. And so it still makes a very strong nature photo, but it still also has a person in it. So again, when you're thinking about this genre, we don't have to avoid taking pictures of people. It's just if you're going to put a person, you need to be intentional that it enhances the nature, kind of puts a person in it to create that idea of you're experiencing nature, and it should not distract. So just be aware of that when we're thinking about the photos we take for this class. So the three common mistakes people make. The first one is pretty obvious, and this gets at the core of nature photography, is we are using the light in the world around us to capture an image. The light goes into the camera and it's interpreted into pixels to generate a photo when we're using digital photography. Now, if you do not think about where the light is when you take a photo, you're going to get something called a washout, which is what this picture is here, where too much light comes into the photo and it completely washes out the image. The camera cannot interpret it. So when you're taking a picture, you're going to want the light to always be behind you so it's lighting your subject. You don't want to photograph into the light, you want it behind you. So photographers, one thing that we have to start doing that feels a little different is when I want to take a photo, I need to check where the light is. So mistake number one, making sure you have good light. Mistake number two, shaky camera. So this is, again, a really common one. Photographers often hold their camera with two hands because they want it to be steady. If you move at all, the lens sometimes will not be able to capture the thing you're taking a photo of. Now, photographers sometimes do intentional motion blurs to be artistic, which is pretty cool. But you can see this one is just unable to hold the camera still, and they were shaking, and it created a really blurry picture. In nature photography, you want to be able to tell what the photo is of. So making sure that we hold the camera very still so we don't get that motion. Now, if you're someone who has just, you naturally kind of have a shake, so making sure to prop your hands either on your knees or crouching on the ground so that you're steady is really going to help you, just steadying those hands. The other thing, this is the last common mistake I'll talk about, is trying to focus in the wrong spot. So this person's trying to take a picture of this cute kid in front of a Christmas tree, and their camera is actually focused in on the Christmas tree behind them and not the young man. So when you make sure to take a picture, you want to make sure things are in focus the way that you want them. So being intentional about what is in focus. On a camera, a lot of times you have to adjust the lens. On a cell phone, a lot of times it's clicking the screen and it will focus in on the thing you're looking for. Ooh, as I drop my phone. So making sure stuff is in focus is another really important thing, a mistake that we want to avoid. Okay, so now I want to go through my project rubric. I always create a rubric because it's super important to me that it's just clear what you got to do and you're not confused. So I'm going to read through this, but you can also read this on your own. So the goal of the project is, you can see it's our project 1, and it's the same name as Brian's project. It's called the Sit and Spot, the Big 3. So we're going to be creating a photograph that avoids the big 3 mistakes that I just talked about. Having things moving, having things not in focus, and getting the washout. We don't want to have that happen in any of our photos this quarter. So the goal is we're going to learn about the classic 3 mistakes a photographer makes when taking photos, which we just did. And during your phenology sit and spot assignment for Brian, trying to take a picture while avoiding those 3 big mistakes. You're trying to take a strong photo. You're going to upload the photo to your Google Drive and place it in your sit and spot journal assignment for Brian. The photo should fit the genre of nature photography. So that means if there's going to be a person in it, you're making sure that person enhances nature and doesn't distract. So the purpose is we're going to practice exploring the genre of nature photography. That's going to be the whole quarter. We're going to practice how to take a strong photo by avoiding those common mistakes. And we're going to practice how to just upload and share your work. So hopefully that's super clear. This is going to help practice the things we'll do all quarter long. So in terms of the assignment requirements, review the big 3 mistakes of photography. We already did that. That's done. Select a sit and spot for Brian's journal. Take a photo that represents the genre of nature photography. So whatever you see in your sit and spot, try to find something in nature to photograph. Avoid the 3 common mistakes of focus, washout, and motion blur. So hopefully that makes sense. Then you'll upload your photo to your Google Drive and insert the photo in the journal for assessment. So now, as an art teacher, art can be very subjective. So I like to say really clearly, in art, here are the skills I'm looking at to give you an assessment. So this is our project rubric. I'm going to go through passing and then some of the floors for how you could push yourself. So the project summary is the same as on the other page. So first thing is I'm going to look at is the content of your photo. What is in the photo you submit to me? Is it the genre of nature photography and it has a subject? So you took a photo of something and it's from your sit and spot. If you want to score advanced, just take more than 1 photo. So that's pretty easy. Maybe there's an interesting rock over here and kind of a tree over here, and you take a photo of both. That will get you advanced on the rubric. Photo quality, it is in focus, it's non-blurry, and it's well lit. So avoiding the big 3 mistakes. And then finally, for uploading and shared, you were able to put it on the drive, insert it into the journal. Now, if you have tech issues, that doesn't mean you can't pass the project. You can see passing is able to seek support if having tech issues. So no big deal. Just let me know you're having problems and I'll make sure to help you and then you can pass. So no big deal. Sometimes people have issues with getting stuff connected and they just email the photo to me and I put it on the drive for them. So I'm happy to work with you, but passing means you reach out to me if you're having tech issues. If you want to get advanced, just upload more than 1 photo to the drive. And so that is essentially it. So again, you're trying to take a photo from your sit and spot that avoids the common big 3. So hopefully that's clear. and please reach out to me if you need anything.